Alright, well, I butchered that real good, but yeah, I'm going to show you how to play Get Back by the Beatles on a 4-string CBG. We are tuned to an open G, and you can play along with the actual song the way I'm going to show you. So the low string is a G. Next string is a D. Next string is another G. And the high string is a B. Alright, I'm going to show you both John's part and George's part. So we're going to start off with George's part. What we're going to do here, we're going to come down on the 2nd fret and play this A chord right here. But what we're going to do is we're just going to hold down the lower 3. But what we're actually only going to do is pluck the low G on the 2nd fret and then the upper G on the 2nd fret. Just like that. I'm showing you slow, but it's a lot quicker than the actual song, but it'll start off like, and we're going to do that 14 times, because the 15th and 16th time, or the 15th will be a open G, 16 will be a D chord. So if you want to count it off, just go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But kind of up to speed, it'll be more like and it's kind of like a crescendo, so it kind of starts out kind of low and builds up at the end. So again, it's kind of slow. And they both kind of do that. John is a little more he's kind of going to strike the low A on the low G, and then strike both the D string and the upper G string. I just strike the low string with a downstroke and then an upstroke for the little 2-note chord. And just kind of build it up towards the end. When you listen to the song, you can tell how it starts out slow and builds up. And at the very beginning, they are both, John and George both starts the song out like this. We're just going to fret down the low G string on the 2nd fret and the D string on the 2nd fret. Just going to little 2-note chord, and take either your ring finger or your pinky up on the 4th fret on the D string. What I do is strike the A once, then I give a little ghost note, just a little muted. and then strike it like that. Both the second fret on the low G string and on the fourth string, on the fourth fret on the D string as a chord. Kind of like a little Chuck Berry chord. So, but in this case, it's going to be real quick, and it's going to be more like a. I'm going to do that 4 times. And both John and George does that in the beginning. So after we do that 4 times, we're going to go to a D, and right here George will be going, we're going to strike the D string open, and we're going to fret on the we're going to fret this A note right here on the second fret and just ride it like and then we're going to go back to these 2 A notes right here like we started the song out in. On the low G string on the second fret and the G string on the upper G string on the second fret. I just fret all 3 of those so I can just he does that, and then he's going to go back to that D and then back to that A. So when George comes out of the he's going to start, he's going to lay his fingers across all the strings, and he's just going to rake his pick down all the strings while they're muted. So just listen to the song. You can tell when he does that, when they go into that first verse, and he keeps doing that until you hear the there's going to be an open G, and then they're going to hit a D chord, and we're going to take our index finger and put that on the second fret on the upper G string, ring finger on the third fret on the B string, and hit the D string open, and all 3 of those together as a chord. So, and then right back into the mute all the strings, and right back into the raking the strings. Until the next. And right after that verse, they're going to go directly right into that right into the chorus. So George is still going to be raking at the very beginning of that chorus. As soon as you hear the first get back, George is still raking the strings. And then they all do the they'll do an open G and that D. And right here, George, now what I do here is what we're going to do, we're going to strike the second fret on the low G string, that A note, and we're going to strike this A note right here on the upper G string on the second fret. I usually just fret all those, and so I can hit the low one and then the high one. And then I'm going to hit this A7 chord. I'm going to take our middle finger, or whatever fingers you want to use, middle finger on the second fret on the D string, and ring finger on the second fret on the B string. And we're going to strike that upper G string open, and all 3 of those together as a chord. So together it'll sound like this. And then he's going to go to the D, and then back to these two A notes like at the very beginning of the song. And then right back into the muting. This is where John goes into his first solo. So, and under the solo, all George does, and under the first solo, the keyboard solo, and John's second solo is the raking. And then the open G. And then back to the raking. He doesn't do anything else until the next chorus. Actually, the next chorus is a little different from the first one. He doesn't rake at the beginning of the chorus. He actually just does like at the very beginning of the song. Goes to the D. And then after the open G and D, he's going to go right, the second time he's going to go, he does this a little differently. He's going to, instead of, he's just going to go right into this. So, that's pretty much all he does in the song. Towards the end of the song now, he doesn't, he's still raking a lot of the strings, but he does a little more of the, and then of course at the very end of the song they end with the chorus. So coming out of John's second solo, they go right back into that chorus. This time when he goes into the chorus, he's going directly into this little part right here. To the D. Right here he goes right back into three more of those. And that's the end of the song. I'm going to kind of play a couple of those. Excuse me. I'm going to kind of play a couple of those parts for you, so you know what I'm doing. But quickly, I'm just going to come out at the very beginning of the song. I'm going to play like the last four, and then just show you how he kind of does the first verse going into the chorus. Okay, here we go. Those little raking parts go longer, but I don't want to sit here and do all 16 of those. So underneath the first verse until the right back there until the next. Now right here they're going into the first chorus. The first get back, George is still raking. And then they do the next open G and D. Now right here is where George does two of these. And then he goes back to these two A notes. That many times. And then right back into his little raking. Alright, well that's that. Now I'm going to come out of John's last solo at the very end of the song. So where he's not raking at the beginning of the chorus, he goes right into this. So okay, I'm going to do the last four of the part and under John's last solo. Here we go. goes directly into the D, and then right back into 3 more of those. That's the end of the song. You really just have to listen to George's parts to get what I'm telling you here. It's really easy once you get in the swing of it, but just listen to it. And George is on the right side of the speakers. So now I'm going to quickly show you John's parts. At the beginning of the song, John, he's kind of, some people, you know, he's slapping on his pickup up here around his bridge sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't play it that way. I'd play it that way on my electric guitars, but I don't do it on my CBGs. But anyway, I just kind of, at the very beginning of the song, I just strike the, second fret, the low A note on the second fret on the low G string. And then I'm going to strike the kind of the upper G string on the second fret and the D string on the second fret, kind of not as a heavy chord, but it's going to be kind of a, do a downstroke on the low G string, and then I kind of come up on these 2 notes as a little chord. You know, where John was, he's just hitting these 2 single notes. But after they both do the open G, they both together do this little Chuck Berry thing I showed you earlier. 4 times. Now John comes up to the D. We're going to come up to the 7th fret, and we're going to play that same thing like we're playing it down here. So we're only going to play it twice up here. So it's kind of a strike once, kind of give it a little ghost note, and then it's not like this. It's more of just little single chords. Okay, John is going to I slide up with my ring finger. We're going to slide up to the 16th fret on the D string. And then your index finger, we're going to strike on the 14th fret on the upper G string. And now we're going to strike again on the 16th fret on the upper G string. And we're going to bend that up. And then, as long as it's bent up, we're going to take our pinky and strike on the B string on the 17th fret. And then we're going to release the bend we were holding up on the 16th fret on the upper G string. And we're going to release it down to the 14th fret on the upper G string. And then we're going to go back to the 16th fret on the D string. You know, the more you practice it, the easier to get and the smoother it'll get. So. And then we're going to go right back into 4 times. We're going to do that 2 times. Okay, so this next part, and I'm going to use my ring finger, and I don't care where you do it from. I do it from different places all the time. So what we're going to do, I'm going to slide up on the low G string to the 11th fret, and then I'm going to strike the on the low G string on the 9th fret one time. I'm going to strike again on the 11th fret on the low G string once, and then I'm going to take my middle finger and put that on the 7th fret on the D string. It's going to sound like this. You know, we don't have that low E string on the 6th string, which we need for the slide, so I just slide real quickly on this low G. And the reason I hit this with my middle finger is that it puts me in position to play this chord. So we're going to leave our middle finger on the D string on the 7th fret, take our index finger and place that on the 6th fret on the upper G string, and I use my pinky on the B string on the 8th fret, and all three of those together as a chord. And what we're going to want to do here is just kind of strum it real quick. And slowly it's going to sound like this. And we want to do that 2 times. And on the 3rd time we're going to, now right here I hit it with my index finger, because right here we're just going to strike these 3 in the same way. Excuse me. Just strum it real quick. So slowly all of those together, it'll sound like this. Do 2 of those. 1 of those. 3 of those, and then 1 more of these. And now we're going to do 1 more, except we're just going to hold that note this time. And this is where John goes into his first solo. So quickly I'm just going to play coming out of the beginning up to that part. So this is where John goes into his solo. So I use my ring finger. What we're going to do right here, we're going to slide up to the 16th fret on the D string. And then quickly we're going to strike the on the 14th fret on the upper G string 3 times, just kind of slow. And now we're going to come up to the 16th fret on the upper G string. We're going to strike this, and we're going to bend it up. And then we're going to take our pinky and strike that on the B string on the 17th fret. Well, my bad. Long we still have this bend. So, and then we're going to strike that on the 16th fret on the upper G string again, and then release it. And then we're going to release it down to the 14th fret on the upper G string 1 time. And then we're going to strike the 16th fret on the D string once, and then again on the 14th fret on the upper G. So slowly like this. Now right here, I do this with my pinky. I'm just going to slide up to the 10th fret, and then I'm going to strike once on the 7th fret on the D string, and again on the 10th fret on the low G string, like this. And now I'm going to take my index finger and strike the upper G string on the 7th fret. Now I'm going to take my index finger on the 5th fret and strike on the upper G string. Take my ring finger and strike the 7th fret on the D string once, and again on the upper G string on the 5th fret. And then I'm just going to kind of bend that up a little bit, so slowly like this. Okay, now I'm going to slide back up to the 16th fret, and now I'm going to strike the 16th fret, and I'm going to strike the 14th fret on the upper G. I'm going to do that 4 times real quick, kind of like. And then I'm going to give it, and I'm going to strike it again on the 14th fret on the upper G, like this. And then I'm going to take on the 16th fret on the upper G. I'm going to bend that up again, just like before. And again on the 17th fret on the B string. And again on the 16th fret on the upper G. And release it back, just like before. So slowly. And then we're going to do this again. Now right here, we're going to take on the 7th fret on the B string. We're going to bend that. And now we're going to strike once on the 5th fret on the B string. Now we're going to come down to the 7th fret on the D string, strike that once. And now we're going to strike on the upper G string on the 5th fret once. Like this. Now we're going to strike on the 7th fret on the upper G string and bend that up. Strike once on the 5th fret on the upper G string, once on the 7th fret on the D string, and then back up once to the 5th fret on the upper G string. So slowly. It'll be up to speed, it'll be more like. So I'm going to play out of that last. You hold that one right there. This is where we go into the solo. I'm going to play through the solo kind of slow. he goes right back into the chorus. This is where George is still at the very beginning. So John goes right back into, right after that solo. Whoop. That's what John does during the chorus. So coming out of the solo, he just goes right back into up to 2 up here at D. Does it 1 time instead of 2 because the last is the open G and D. And right there, they hold that D, and that's where the little keyboard lick comes in. And I think he says "Get Back, Joe" or something. And then that's where the keyboard solo is. I showed you what George does during the keyboard solo. This is what John does. He just goes into this right here. Same thing. Except right here, John does one of these. And then right back into. So he does 2 of those in under the keyboard solo. So all the way through it'll sound like this. So, and actually, right after he does the last, he goes right back into that. Because they're going back into the chorus. Right there after the keyboard solo. And he plays the same thing as I showed you before during the chorus. Nothing changes for John, so he's just... Actually, right here, they don't stop on that note like the first time. He does another. So remember that when you do that. Right before his John's second solo, which I'm going to show you right now. It's basically just like the first, except a couple little things changes. The first one is we're going to B string, slide back up to the 16th fret. Now right here, we're going to strike this just like the first time. We just little 3 little ones right there. And the second time we're going to do that same thing beginning here on the second solo. So slide up and do that 3 times. And then strike 1 time like this. And then strike once on the 16th fret on the upper G string. And then bend up the same way as before. So slowly. Each one of these John does like just a little, the picking's almost the same, but it's a little different. So again, the first one of the second solo. Right back into. Now this time, do this part again. At the beginning of the solo. At the first solo, he does that at the very end, so. Now right here, we're going to slide back up to the 16th fret. Right here, we're just going to strike that a few times, a little quicker. We're not going to use the 16th fret on the D string this time. We're going to bend up again on the 16th fret on the upper G. This time we're going to hold it for a split second, and then we're just going to, I like to hit both of them as it's still bent. And release it, like. And we're going to release it back again, back down to the 14th fret, like before, on the upper G. And then we're going to strike the, like before, we're going to strike the 16th fret on the D string once. Now we're going to go back to the 16th fret on the upper G string, and we're going to anchor that 14th fret on the upper G string with your index finger, and we're going to bend up and then strike on the 14th fret one time. Several times. And we're going to bend that up one more time. We're going to strike that one time. We're going to strike the 16th fret on the D string one time, and then back up to the 14th fret on the upper G string one time. Quickly, you do two of those. So slowly, this second solo will sound like this. Again, slowly. And he goes right back into. And that's the end of the song. I hope y'all like this one, and I'm going to be back soon with another one. Thanks for watching.